and change your life. You can have it all, no sacrifice. I know we did you wrong.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Money Mondays. On this series, you guys are basically going to see all things wealth and financial education. So I talk about all things how to make money, how to save money, how to invest, different side hustles that you can create for yourself, different types of passive income. Video in particular is going to be how I was able to get my credit score up to 790. I think it's 794 right now, but basically how to get a perfect credit score. So I want to talk to you guys about what I did in particular and what you guys can do starting now. This is basically a beginner video for all things credit score related. So before we begin this video, get out a paper and pen, a phone, something that you're going to write your notes in. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and also comment down below what steps you guys are planning on taking to build your credit score this year. New to this whole credit score game, your credit score basically shows lenders, banks, financial institutions, how well you handle your money. So the higher the credit score that you have, the easier things are going to be for you down the road, and it's going to save you a lot of money. For instance, if you're going to get a car loan, or if you're going to get an apartment, or any type of loan in general, typically they look at your credit score to see how high it is, and the higher the credit score you have, the lower interest rate you're going to use, or you're going to be issued when you're getting a loan. So this can essentially save you a ton of money. I'm saying like thousands of dollars. What a lot of times when people go and finance a car, you know, your credit score is checked. If your credit score is low, you can get up to like 12% APY. However, if you have a higher credit score, your interest rate can be significantly lower, and I'm talking like 3 to 4% rather than the 12% that you would have got if you had a lower credit score. And that's just one instance. There's so many different things that require you to you know, give your credit score. So having a high credit score in this country is very, very, very important. I'm going to talk to you guys about the different steps that you can take to ensure that you have a high credit score. You can work towards that high number. So first things first, what you need to do is get a secured credit card. So if you don't have a credit card yet, definitely get a secured credit card. With a secured credit card, you're required to give in a security deposit. So basically you're going to start off by giving them a specific amount of money, and what they're going to do is give you that money back in a form of credit, like a credit line. For the Capital One card, it's only $49 to start off, so you need as low as $49 to set up your credit card, and they'll give you $49 in return as revolving credit. Personally, I did not do the minimum. I put in $1,000 to start off, but it's honestly up to you. You can still start with as low as $49. With the Discover It credit card, the minimum is $200. But what's great about the Discover It credit card, and why I recommend that as well, I actually do have I did use these two to kind of start off my credit journey. But Discover It is great because it actually offers cash back. So if you guys go on the website, you'll be able to see that it actually offers rewards. So it gives you 2% cash back at gas stations and restaurants on up to $1,000 in purchases each quarter. Besides that, you get a 1% unlimited cash back on all other things that are not restaurant, grocery related. So that's a great alternative, you guys. So I personally recommend the Discover It credit card first because of the cash back offers. The Capital One card is also great if you don't have that $200 to start off. I'll talk more about the importance of having multiple credit cards later on in this video. So first things first, you want to get a secured credit card. What's great about another great thing about Discover It is that currently right now they're matching your cash back. So instead of 2% cash back on the restaurants and grocery stores and 1% for everything else, now they're doing 4% for the restaurants and grocery stores and 2% for everything else for your first year. So that's a great, you guys, that's a great thing to take advantage of. You're basically getting money back from things that you're paying for, so you might as well, you know, it's basically free money at this point. What's great about these two is that because you're using your own money to start off, literally anybody can get approved for these credit cards. It's not as hard as the other credit cards that I'll probably mention in a different video. So you literally can apply for it online, and they'll send you the card in the mail. So I'll put the links to both Discover It as well as the Capital One card down below. I recommend you guys to get both actually. So get those two, links in the description bar down below. If you guys actually want me to do a video on all the specific credit cards that I use, definitely let me know down below. That's not going to be what I'm going to be talking about today, but there are so many perks of different credit cards that a lot of people don't know and don't take advantage of. I'll just give you guys a few before we begin. But you know, you get cash back, so you get money back from specific purchases, up to 5%. So some some credit cards give you 5% cash back on things that you would normally pay for. So paying with a debit card will give you 0% cash back. However, paying with a credit card will give you 5%. So you're making money off of just paying for things that you would normally pay for. Specific credit cards like the Amex or American Express credit card, they will give you travel miles instead of cash back. And that basically allows you to fly wherever you want for free just because of how much you're spending on that specific card. So credit cards offer roadside assistance, so a lot of people pay for this in their insurance. However, you can opt out of that and use your specific credit card for roadside assistance, and you can just call the number on the back of your credit card and they will help you out with different things like getting gas for your car, if your battery runs out, if you need a tow truck. Like, those are things that you literally get for free just because you have a specific credit card. Another perk that credit cards also offer is travel and auto insurance. So that means that if you use a specific credit card on a flight, or for example, if you rent a car, they will automatically give you free insurance up to I forget how much it is. It honestly depends on the specific credit card, but that's just another perk that a lot of people don't really read into. And another thing is sign up bonuses. Some credit cards literally give you $200 to $500 just for signing up with their specific credit card. Obviously you have to do research on all the different ones that of course you would be interested in, and which ones will have the best perks and benefits for you. Some credit cards have higher cash back for certain things. Like, I have a credit card that I use only for groceries. I have a credit card that I use only for shopping. I have a credit card that I use only for restaurants. And I do this because I know that I will get cash back on those specific purchases, rather than with my debit card, which I'm not going to get any cash back on. So it is a lot of things to kind of take into account for. Like I said, if you guys want a video on my favorite credit cards and the credit cards that I use on a day-to-day basis, definitely let me know in the description bar down below, and I will definitely talk about that. And you guys will also find out in this video that having multiple credit cards will increase your credit score. Based off of my 6 or 7 credit cards I have about $40,000 of credit available for me to use. I only use about 10% of that because credit utilization is also a key component of how high of a credit score you're going to have. So that's just what I want to give you guys a heads up on before going into the video, because a lot of people have bad stigmas and negative stigmas towards credit cards, but if you are using it the right way and you're paying off your credit card every single month, it can be very, very, very beneficial to you. So I want to talk to you guys about the different things in today's video, and now we can actually start talking about how to get a high credit score. So now that you have your credit card, now it's what to do to increase your credit score as fast as possible and as easy as possible. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the different things that impact your credit score. And when I think of this, I kind of think of it as like a grade in college. So a lot of times when you go into a new class and a new semester, you kind of get a grade breakdown, and if you don't really understand the grade breakdown, it's going to be hard for you to get an A in that class because you don't know how much the exams are weighted and how the tests are weighted, and you kind of want to have a good understanding of that before going into the class. I'm going to go over the different things that go into your credit score and how you can fully take advantage of each part to get the highest score possible. First thing that is on this list is on-time payments. So the on-time payments counts for about 35% of your credit score, and this basically means that you want to make sure that you are paying your credit card off every single month on time. You do not want to miss a payment at all during this entire process because this can definitely affect your score. What I recommend all of you guys to do is to set up your credit card to have an auto bill pay. So what it's going to do is automatically pay your bill every single month so you don't have to worry about it. And this is honestly the easiest way for me. When paying for things on your credit card, just know in the back of your head that I'm going to have to pay this at the end of the month, so you do not want to spend too much on your credit card. I'm actually going to tell you guys about how much percentage wise you guys should be using on your credit card in the next step. So first, you're going to set up auto bill pay on your credit card. There should be somewhere on your website to do it, or you can call either Capital One or Discover It to do it over the phone. But you want to make sure that you're paying your bill every single month on time. So like I mentioned before, 35% of your credit score is based on your on-time payments. Because I have 100% of my payments made on time, I have that full 35%. So basically, the way that this is calculated is your amount of on-time payments divided by your total payment. Under 90% is below average. Between 90 and between 90 and 97% is average, 98 to 99% is good, and 100% is excellent. So I'm actually excellent on this because I have made all of my payments on time. Making a couple of payments late will affect your credit score drastically. So below average is under 90%. I've had for example, if I had one credit card for the past 2 years, which is 24 months, I would have had to make 24 payments. If for any reason I missed out on, or I was late to about 3, so 24 minus 3 is 21, and that means now 21 on-time payments out of 24 altogether. That's already 87.5%, and that's below average. So that just goes to show how drastically your credit score can be dropped just by a couple of late payments. This does not mean that you have to make the full payment. For it to count as an on-time payment, all you need to do is make the minimum, and a lot of times the minimum is only like $25 to $50. So one thing I recommend is to make your payments on time, or at least to make the minimum. If you can, pay off your credit card every single month, and that's something that I definitely do recommend all of you guys to do, and that goes on to the next step. So the next part of this little breakdown is your credit utilization. So that accounts for 30% of your credit score. Utilization, this is basically saying that you don't want to use all of the credit that is available to you. So out of my between my 7 credit cards, I have about $40,000 of credit that I can use. If you only put $200 into your Discover It credit card, you only have $200 available of credit. You only want to use 10% of what your credit offers. So you're being offered $200, you only want to use 10%. You only want to be using about $20 off of that, because you're only going to be using 10% of what your credit card offers. This is because you don't want the banks to feel as though you are relying too much on credit. So obviously you have it there, but you want the banks to know that, yeah, I'm good without it, type of thing. So it's kind of weird, and that's why I say that there's a lot of strategy that goes into it, but credit utilization is 30% of your score. So you want your credit utilization to be as low as possible. So mine in particular right now is at 0% because I don't keep a balance on my credit card. Every single month I pay off my credit cards in full. If you have a $300 limit and you're using $300 and you still have a $300 balance, you are using 100% of your credit utilization. What you can do to kind of leverage this, and this is one thing that I do recommend, is to get multiple credit cards. So for example, you have one credit line, for example Capital One, you only have $300 of you only have a $300 limit on there. You're only using 10%, so that means you're only using $30 on that specific card. What you can do is you can open up another credit card like Discover It and put another $300 limit on there and use only 10% of that, and that's now 60%. So basically, to maximize this is to get multiple lines of credit and don't keep a balance on your credit card. Only use what you can afford on these credit cards so that you don't have a balance on there and you can keep your credit utilization as high as possible. So now for number 1 and number 2, I am at 65% because I have 100% of on-time payments and 100% of credit utilization. So the next thing here is your length of credit history, and this is something that definitely did affect me. So one thing you want to do is start building your credit as early as possible. So a lot of people don't realize that the length of time of your credit history definitely does play into effect. So this part is 15% of your score, and this is kind of the part that definitely did affect me a little bit because I did not start as early as I could have. I only have my oldest line of credit is only at 2 years. Obviously I'm not going to have 100% of this category because I only started 2 years ago. I believe in order to get 100% in this specific area, you have to have a line of credit that's over like 7 years. So that's just one thing for you guys to keep advantage that you guys should take into account, is that your length of credit history is not how long you've had credit for, it's your average time for credit. So for example, if you had your first credit card 4 years ago and then you just got a recent one 1 year ago, 4 plus 1 is 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So now your average length of credit history is 2.5 years. Get as many credit cards as you can earlier on so that you're not getting multiple down the road, because the ones that you get down the road is going to kind of make your credit your length of credit history shorter, because they're going to take the average of the ones from before, like 5-6 years ago, as well as the most recent ones that would be like a year ago. So another example to kind of make things easier in your head is that if you got a credit line 6 years ago and then you got another credit line 2 years ago, 6 plus 2 now is 8. So now your average length of credit history is now 4 years instead of 6 years, because you just added another one in. So it's kind of hard to go about it, but you kind of want to like balance it out, because you also do not want to get too many credit requests. So before that accounts for 15% of your credit score. So the next thing here is the amount of credit lines that you have opened in the past 2 years. So this is important, because if you open up too many accounts, lenders and stuff like that will wonder why you are at an urge to open up credit. Like, why do you need so much money? Why do you need so much credit right now? Even though they obviously don't know that you're only opening up these credit lines to build your credit. They're just confused as to why this person needs so much credit, right? And they might even think you're overextended financially, that you're like in a rut and you need money like now. So obviously that's not good in a lender's eyes. So you want to try and keep the amount of credit lines that you open to a minimum. So in order to be an excellent in this category, you should only be opening up to 2 credit lines every 2 years. So me in particular, I wanted to open up a lot in the beginning when I'm just starting off my credit, because of the length of credit history, which is 15%. But after that, I know that I have as much credit as I need. I'm not going to be opening up any more credit down the line, because I have everything I need right now. So after that 2 years, after these 2 years now, my credit score is going to jump up again. It goes to show, like, the things that you're doing now is definitely going to affect what's going to happen in the future, as long as you're doing the right steps. I am at average. However, in the next 2 years, I will definitely be an excellent, because I'm not going to be opening up any more, or I'm not hoping to open up any more than 2 credit lines in the next 2 years. Just a tip, you guys, opening up multiple credit lines, you still have to make sure that you're paying it off. Make sure that you are making your payments on time, so that you're not messing up your highest percentile, which is their on-time payments of 35%. So I have 100% of on-time payments, and I have 100% of credit utilization. So that means that even though I'm still only at average for this specific category of opening up credit lines, and it's only going to affect me for the next 2 years, so it kind of balances out, because I'm kind of preparing for this. So last but not least is your credit inquiries, and this accounts for 10%. So every single time that you create an inquiry, for example, if you're trying to get a car and you're going to different car dealerships, and you're constantly letting people run your credit, that affects your credit score, and that's 10%. So recent inquiries, I only have 1 recent inquiry, so I'm at the good. I'm not at excellent, because excellent is at 0. So this kind of ranges from 6 plus to 0. So 6 plus, if you have more than 6 in the past 2 years, it highly impacts your credit score, because you're going to be below average. Average is around 3 to 5. To be in good standing, you're at 1 to 2, which is where I am at right now. And to have excellent is to have 0 credit inquiries in the past 2 years, which is going to be very hard, especially if you're going to be applying for loans, if you're trying to buy a house, if you're trying to buy a car. But you just want to try and get that as low as possible. The only thing is, like I said before, it only accounts for 10% of your entire credit score, so it's not really going to affect too much if you're doing everything else correctly. But it is kind of like the whole purpose of you building your credit score, so that you can use your credit. So don't think too much into that if you're trying to actually use your credit score for something to help you. So those are the 5 different things that are in your breakdown for your credit score. If you are doing all those different things correctly, and you follow the steps that are in this video, as well as in the description bar down below, you should have a very high credit score by the end of the year, or obviously a higher credit score in the times to come. So that's basically it for this episode of Money Mondays. Definitely comment down below which steps you're planning on starting to help bring up your credit score. You guys can also let me know what your credit score goals are if you're interested in doing that. But honestly, if you're taking into account all these different steps, there's no reason for you to have a very high credit score. So that's basically it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.